Alright, so we decided to do MLB payroll first, statistics stuff. Should the MLB adapt the salary cap for all teams? Was our question that we decided to go with. Many MLB teams, such as the Dodgers, Yankees, and Cubs, who are big markets, are always ahead of the standings because of their unlimited supply of superstars. Example, Shohei Ohtani just signed a $700 million contract over the next 10 years, which is insane. And some teams won't even have that much money to spend for the entire team in the next 10 years.
And we did our research in order to find out if the MLB should adapt the salary cap. We researched the payrolls of 15 teams. So we had the top 5 teams in wins, the middle 5 and the bottom 5, and then those are their salaries over the years, and then their averages along the side too.
For the top 5 teams, throughout the years, the top 5 teams in wins have generally had the highest payrolls. As you can see, they're pretty high. The top 3 teams have had the top 3 average payrolls throughout the last 3 years. So the Yankees, Dodgers, and Red Sox have had the top 3 in wins and the top 3 payrolls. So.
And then these are the middle 5 teams in wins, and as you can see, there's an outlier. The Cubs have way more money than the other ones, and that just shows that the salary cap isn't the only thing that affects the amount of wins a team gets, because the players on the team and the coaches also weigh in a lot too.
And these are the bottom 5 teams. Their payrolls are similar to the middle 5, but there are a couple teams that are significantly lower, like the Marlins and Rays only have 55 million, where the other ones are near 100. And this shows that some teams already have a significant advantage before they even get a chance to play.
And our data collection, according to the numbers on the previous table, we came to the conclusion that the more money a team has, the more wins they'll likely get. But we need more unbiased data to conclude our research, so we decided to send out a survey throughout social media, on Facebook, to anyone that wanted to respond.
29 people said, or we sent out a survey. We asked the question if they watch MLB and should there be a salary cap, were 2 of our questions. 29 people said yes to watching the MLB, which is this bar graph. 90% of the people that said they watched the MLB said that there should be a salary cap. And even 80% of the people that didn't watch the MLB said that there should be a salary cap as well.
And then we had these 2 charts, and the 29 people who watched MLB also rated on a scale 1 to 4 how much they think the salary affects their wins. So as you can see, most of the people voted 3, so that means the salary cap has a pretty big impact on the amount of wins a team will get.
This was our own research, so we made this graph. As shown by our own research, the payrolls of the top 5 teams are much higher than the bottom 5. So these 5 are the top 5, these are the middle 5, and these are the bottom 5. It's sectioned off. And this clearly shows the gap of how much the payrolls, or how much of a gap the payrolls are. As it's complete, it's like way more on that one than it is on the bottom 5.
Not only have we come to the conclusion that the MLB salary cap is not fair, these graphs also show that the majority of people that watch MLB also think the cap affects the win total, because we did a survey if they think universal salary cap is a good idea. That just means like having the same amount of money for every team. That would make it more fair, everyone thought, because right now it's not really fair.
Conclusion, our question was, should the MLB adapt a salary cap for all teams? And after doing our own research and collecting data from other individuals, we concluded that the MLB should adapt the salary cap for all teams to make it more fair to everyone in the
league. Our group decided to research the topic, does high school GPA affect college choice major? We decided to see if correlation between high school GPA has an effect on people's selection for college majors. We decided to research this topic to better help high school students get a grasp on what major they decide to study going into the future. This research will help them by showing them the average correlation between major and GPA to get a grasp on what may or may not be attainable. We decided to send out a survey to 32 individuals, 17 of which were seniors, 13 did not respond, 14 of which were juniors, 9 did not respond. 32 people were selected through a random generation when the survey was first put out. However, 11 did not respond to that survey. After this, more people were randomly selected to replace the unanswered survey, 7 of which did not respond. This survey consisted of 6 questions involving their current high school GPA, if and where they were planning to attend college, for what degree will they go for, and what field of major.
This graph shows like the majors that they decided to choose and how many people were in it. 11% of manufacturing majors had a 4.0 GPA. 100% of education majors were between 3.0 and 3.99 GPA. 50% of science majors had a 3.0 to 3.99 GPA, and the other 50 had a 1.0 to 1.9 GPA. 33.3% of the other majors had a 2.0 to a 2.99 GPA, and 66.7% had a 3.0 to a 3.99 GPA. 33.3% of unanswered majors had a 4.0 plus GPA, and 66.7% had a 3.0 to 3.99 GPA. 100% of healthcare and humanity services had a 3.0 to a 3.99 GPA. And this is basically how many people answered, and our graph was kind of a little weird to do because we could have had one person to answer for engineering and manufacturing, and that would be equal to 100%. And this is how many people responded. The blue is how many people did respond, and the gray is how many people didn't respond. And the response rate of the survey was less than half. The lack of data could contribute to the results that should not be applied to the general population. In conclusion, we could not reach a proper conclusion due to our non-response data, and there's no notable correlation has been found between high school GPA and chosen college major with data that was submitted. More data is needed to properly determine a conclusion that can be representative of the entire student body.
Okay, so for our project, we chose does work in after-school activities affect your social life? Oh, wait, oh, shoot. Okay, we chose this topic because it's not talked about enough. Working gives less time to high school students. We wanted to see what other people thought on our topic and what other people thought if our topic would be a reason for stress.
For our research, from our research, we found that more stress and your mental health has been greatly affected by teens and makes it harder to find free time and quality time with family and friends, with school activities and jobs.
For collecting our data, we created a Google form, sent it out to all students in 9th to 12th grade, sets the average age you get a job and busy with after-school activities. With the data, we put it into 2 graphs.
This is our first graph. This graph basically just shows the amount of people who have jobs and after-school activities. From this data, this graph shows that the people that are in after-school activities and also have a job have a harder time finding free time compared to those who just have a job. This is our second graph, and this one just shows that most people think if one is affecting you, then most likely the other one's also affecting you. And most people who said yes to affecting your social life also said yes to affecting your after-school activities. But the majority of those who answered said no to work and affecting your social life and no to that after-school activities.
So does work in activities affect your social life?
Oh,
No, no.
oh.
we led to a conclusion that both work and activities don't affect your social life.
But yet work and after-school activities still is affecting your social life because it comes close into our responses.
Okay, we researched, does being a student athlete affect your mental health? Okay, so some of the things that we concluded about what might affect their mental health is opinions on yourself, pressure, academics, and health. Thanks.
Being a student athlete has many flaws, but many positives as well. In ways, being a student athlete is positive in life because you have that certain structure and expectations that other students maybe don't have. Being an athlete is hard on not just your body, but also your mental health.
For collecting our data, we sent out a Google form asking a whole bunch of questions, and then we did a little research online too. So this one was for athletes. So we asked if being an athlete has a effect on your social life, outside of school and everything. And then we also asked if it had an effect on your school determination for grades. And these graphs showed, it's the same data, just in different graphs. It has more of effect on social life, and and then school determination, it has a lot of effect on it too.
This is our other one of the students that answered the Google form sheet that were not athletes, and it showed that student athletes non-student athletes were less determined than student athletes. They're less determined.
And then it doesn't really affect their social life. And then this one was kind of just another question that we asked if being a student athlete affects your eating habits, and mostly they answered yes. For our conclusion, we conclude that being a student athlete has many flaws. Throughout our research, many positives and negatives have emerged for students, student athletes' mental health. Students have little time for themselves, which can put a strain on their social relationships and sleep. Between training, performing, and academics, there is often little time for sleep, maintaining social relationships, and hobbies.
Students also may struggle with not just being able to have time for stuff, but also eating and their body image. On the positive side of it, you do learn how to time manage well, and also how to keep a balanced life, even though it might seem like your life is, as a student athlete, is chaotic. You also gain a social life and have determination to keep grades up to be able to play in your sport.
So pretty much has its pros and cons, but you can kind of see it. Yeah, we're good. I'm done.
For our research project, we chose to look at how dual enrollment affects a student's mental health. We chose this because me and her are both in PSEO and College Now classes, and we just wanted to figure out if it was affecting everyone else's mental health or just ours. And we also thought it would maybe be important for the community to know so that they could advise their children and other students whether or not they should be taking PSEO and College Now classes. First, we will go over what PSEO and College Now classes are, and then we will tell you our hypothesis and initial ideas, and then we will go over our data collection process, and we will also share our results and our conclusion.
First, what is PSEO and what is College Now? So PSEO is typically fully online, and it's through local colleges, like you could do it through Minnesota West and SSU. It's a college level class, and then you can get a college and a high school credit through it. A College Now class is an in-person class, and it's taken with a teacher from your high school who is qualified to teach that, and you can also get a high school and a college credit.
Our hypothesis was based on research that we did from many websites on about like different schools and other stuff. And from our research, we determined that your mental health usually is affected at other schools. So we were curious about our school specifically and like students that we go to classes with so that we would know if they were struggling or not.
Now we're going to talk about the data collection process. So to collect data, we sent out a Google form, and we asked 2 questions about if they were taking college classes, 2 questions about how many, and then 2 of them about like their mental health. One was about their mental health now, and then the other one was about how it changed from the beginning of the school year to now. And then we asked 11th through 12th graders because those are the people that are able to take PSEOs in like College Now classes. There's 169 students in those 3 grades, and 70 students answered.
These are our results and our conclusion. For our results, students who were not taking college classes, the green dot up here is how the students started before the school year, and this shows the decline. And those that have the dots on top of the green shows no decline, and the average decline was about negative 0.48%, or 0.48 points. 39 out of the 70 students who responded were not taking college classes. And for those who were taking college classes, it's the same type, like the same explanation for the graph. This shows the decline. The average change was about negative 0.87%, which is about 2 times higher than those who are not taking college classes. 31 of the 7 students responded saying that they did take college classes, which is, it's about even. There's a little bit of a difference, but it's about even for both responses. We concluded from our research and our data collection that there is an effect on your mental health if you are taking college classes, and it's usually a negative effect, even if like you're not taking very many.
So our topic is, what is your perspective on cheer and dance being a sport? So why we chose this topic to research is we were interested in the actual results that people would say based off of a Google form. And we also enjoy dance and cheer and watching them, because they're kind of similar. We also wanted to hear people's opinions and what different grades and ages would say on them being a sport.
And then we also did cheer, and we did competitive cheer. Like when we researched, competitive cheer was also like the only one that was considered a sport between sideline and competitive. And sideline was not considered because it's supposed to be like a crowd pump up for like basketball and football. And then like when you look at the definition of a sport, it's like it fits into it, but no one, like personal opinion does not think that it's a sport.
So for dance in our research paper, we learned that dance also fits into the component of a sport, or a definition of a sport as well. And in our research, dance is known for just being a performance art and not a high school sport to lots of people. And dancers are the most athletic and skilled people in the world. And dance also requires lots of hours of practice in strength and stigma, which is also like most sports need. All of them do.
And so we collected our data we started by making a Google form like with questions about like personal opinion on what a sport is. And then we went through and we picked we went through 7 through 12, and we used a random number generator to pick which ones. And we also did that with teachers. I think there was 11 teachers, or 22.
22 teachers.
22 teachers, and we picked 11 out of them
through the number generator again, and then we sent the Google sheet out, and then Google form, sorry, and then we had people answer. And then we used the data to make this graph. And then our data shows that most of the people said yes to competitive cheer and dance being a sport, which is these two blue ones. And then the people that said yes for sideline cheer is visibly lower than the other two, which you can see right there. And then the people who said no for competitive cheer and dance being a sport is way similar than the people that said sideline, because there's way less no's. And the people that said sideline cheer, there's more no's than yes. The percent is way higher. And so then it's just asking the question again, like what your perspective is. And we just concluded that dance and competitive cheer are sports, and sideline cheer is not a sport, according to everyone's